Most people hear New York real estate and immediately think million-dollar apartments the size of a closet. But tucked away in cities like Rochester, Elmyra, and Jamestown, there are fully updated brick ranch homes with garages, fireplaces, new roofs, and finished basements selling for less than a used Ferrari. These are 10 of the cheapest ranch homes in New York right now, and by number 1, the price is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about this state. Number 10, 48 Skycrest Drive, Rochester, New York, at $199,900. We start in Rochester, and this ranch feels a lot more polished than anyone expects at this price level. The property sits at 48 Skycrest Drive, offering 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 1,288 square feet of living space on a 10,497 square foot lot. It was originally built in 1959, and the list price of $199,900 works out to roughly $155 per square foot. That number matters because in a city the size of Rochester, a brick ranch under $200,000 already sounds rare. And this one is not being sold as some empty shell that needs a full gut renovation. It is being sold as a real, livable home with serious upgrades already in place. The listing tells a much stronger story than the price tag alone. It calls out an all-brick exterior, central air conditioning, an attached garage, a finished lower level, a modern custom kitchen, brand new Samsung appliances, new flooring throughout, new light fixtures, and updated electrical service. That is not a wish list. That is a done list. The house keeps the classic ranch shape that so many buyers love because everything sits on one level, easy and grounded, but the updates push it out of the money pit category entirely. In a market where plenty of buyers are tired of stairs, tired of tiny lots, and tired of inflated city pricing, a Rochester ranch like this starts to look like a very practical grab. Rochester itself is a real upstate city with a population sitting just above 207,000 people. That means hospitals, universities, grocery stores, jobs, and actual demand behind the housing market. This is not some forgotten patch where nobody wants to live. This is a genuine city ranch at a price that would barely cover a studio apartment deposit in Manhattan. And that was just number 10. The prices are about to start dropping. Number 9, 44 Maplehurst Road, Rochester, New York, at $199,900. We stay in the Rochester area for number 9, but this ranch has a completely different personality. It feels softer, warmer, and more lifestyle-focused. 44 Maplehurst Road offers 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and 1,415 square feet on a 10,454 square foot lot. Built in 1953, the asking price of $199,900 breaks down to about $141 per square foot. That is a better interior value number than several other homes near the top of this list, which means buyers are getting more actual living space per dollar spent. This one appeals to a different kind of buyer. It is not about squeezing in the maximum number of bedrooms. It is about getting comfortable single-level space in an established neighborhood that actually feels like somewhere you would want to spend your mornings. The listing highlights single-level living, an updated fireplace-centered living room, oversized windows flooding the interior with natural light, natural wood trim details, first-floor laundry, an enclosed porch, and a backyard patio area. Those are not random bullet points. Those are the details that help someone picture what daily life actually feels like inside these walls. This sounds like a ranch where somebody could wake up, make a cup of coffee, sit near those big windows, and feel like they bought a home instead of just a structure. That difference is massive in this price range. Cheap houses are everywhere. Cheap houses that feel calm, bright, and genuinely usable are much harder to find. And because this property sits in the Rochester orbit rather than some isolated rural strip with no services around it, the home carries something even more valuable than charm. It carries context. The city market behind it gives it staying power, practical appeal, and real credibility as a smart buy rather than just a lucky accident. Number 8. 9 East Crest Drive, Rochester, New York, at $199,900. 9 East Crest Drive is the kind of ranch that works because it feels honest. The listing shows 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1,144 square feet, a 0.27-acre lot, 1955 construction, and a list price of $199,900. That comes out to about $175 per square foot. On paper, those numbers might not be the most dramatic stat line on this list, but houses at this price level live or die on a different question entirely, and that question is simple. How many of the expensive headaches have already been handled? This listing answers that question very well. It mentions original hardwood floors running through the home, a floor-to-ceiling stacked stone fireplace that gives the living space real character, built-in shelving, brand new 2026 vinyl plank flooring in the kitchen and bathroom, a furnace replaced in 2015, a hot water heater replaced in 2020, and a roof overlay completed in 2021 with added attic insulation. There is also an exterior deck built off the dining area for outdoor space. That combination makes this house extremely easy to talk about. You are not selling fantasy with this property. You are selling peace of mind. The fireplace gives it personality. The hardwood floors add warmth and familiarity. The newer furnace, water heater, and roof work give buyers the kind of maintenance checklist they want to hear cleared before they even bother scheduling a showing. In a city the size of Rochester, a simple one-story ranch that already knocks out some of the biggest repair worries starts to feel like a much safer bet than the price alone would suggest. It is the kind of property that looks completely average in a thumbnail photo, but gets stronger and stronger the longer you look at it. And now, we leave the city limits, and things get even more interesting. Number 7. 1904. Manitou Road, Spencerport, New York, at $199,900. Once you step just outside Rochester into Spencerport, the story changes in a very good way. 1904. Manitou Road offers 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1,468 square feet, a 0.36-acre lot, and 1958 construction, all listed at $199,900. That works out to around $136 per square foot, which is one of the strongest value numbers in this entire lineup. In simple terms, buyers are getting a solid amount of house for the money, and they are not doing it in total isolation. Spencerport is its own village community with its own identity, but it sits right inside the greater Rochester sphere. That makes this ranch feel like a smart edge-of-city option, rather than a remote gamble with no services nearby. The listing is what really gives this home momentum. It says the property has been newly remodeled, with new windows installed, new tile flooring in the kitchen, a completely new bathroom with a tile shower, restored original hardwood floors, new appliances, a brand new driveway, and a brand new septic tank and pump system. That last detail is massive. A lot of affordable homes on the outskirts of city areas look like incredible deals until one buried system fails and turns the whole property into a financial trap. This listing actively removes that fear by putting the new septic front and center. Spencerport also brings a different kind of value than straight urban property. It has village character, local shops, and its own community feel. But Rochester sits right next door as the big city anchor. So this ranch can genuinely be described as a quiet sleeper pick. More yard space than a tight city lot. More breathing room than an urban block. But still connected to a recognizable, usable, regional hub. That combination is exactly where a lot of smart bargain buyers want to land. Number 6. 24 Bobbie Drive, Rochester, New York, at $189,000. Now we drop under $190,000, and the list starts getting really compelling. 24 Bobbie Drive offers 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,092 square feet, a 0.25-acre lot, 1967 construction, and a list price of $189,000. That is about $173 per square foot, and you are still inside the Rochester city market. That city anchor matters because it gives the property practical advantages over cheaper homes sitting in weaker, less active locations. This listing is easy to build a strong story around because it sounds stable. The details include a gas fireplace, a brand new furnace installed in 2023, a full tear-off roof completed in 2009, vinyl replacement windows throughout, an updated main bathroom, a partially finished basement, adding extra usable space, a dedicated laundry room, and a workshop area. Then comes a phrase that does more work than almost anything else on the listing. Well cared for, one owner home. That signals consistency, upkeep, and a property that has not been bounced around between careless owners or chaotic flippers. A 2023 furnace is not a small update. A full tear-off roof is not a small update. Replacement windows running through the whole house are not a small update. Stack those on top of a garage, a fireplace, and bonus basement space, and suddenly this stops feeling like just an affordable ranch. It starts feeling like the kind of home someone actually lived in properly and maintained with intention. In a city the size of Rochester, buyers are not just comparing prices, they are comparing risk. And when a listing starts eliminating risk while staying under the $190,000 line, it becomes the kind of opportunity that sticks in a viewer's mind long after the video ends. Number 5. 76 Park Lane, Yulan, New York, at $189,900. This is where the list shifts from city practicality to hidden retreat energy. 76 Park Lane in Yulan shows 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1,149 square feet, 1.71 acres of land, 1965 construction, and a list price of $189,900. That works out to about $165 per square foot. But the conversation changes here because it is no longer just about the house. It is about privacy, land, and the feeling of having real space around you. Yulan is much smaller and quieter than Rochester or Elmyra, so this entry works best as the peaceful escape section of the list. The nearest more recognizable town reference is Port Jervis, which helps give viewers a practical location anchor instead of making the property feel completely lost. The listing leans right into that retreat identity. It mentions a brand new roof, a new hot water heater, a large heated sunroom, a full walkout basement, workshop space for projects, a wood stove for cold winter nights, a storage shed, and a large deck overlooking the property. The listing also presents this as a remodeling opportunity, which is an important distinction. This is not the move-in-ready suburban ranch from the top of the list. This is a different play entirely. This is for the buyer who looks at trees and potential and thinks long-term. A weekend base, a peaceful full-time downshift, a project property with real land attached to it. Nearly 2 acres in New York for under $200,000 with a real single-family ranch house already standing on it. That is the kind of line that makes people stop scrolling and start paying attention. Number 4. 164 Linwood Avenue, Jamestown, New York, at $179,900. 164 Linwood Avenue might be one of the biggest surprises in this entire ranking. The listing shows 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,696 square feet, a 9,909 square foot lot, 1956 construction, and a list price of just $179,900. That comes out to roughly $106 per square foot, which is an extremely strong number for a single-family ranch with this much interior space. Even if a buyer does not love every finish inside, the math is almost impossible to argue with. Jamestown is a real small city market in western New York, and the nearest big city reference point for most viewers is Buffalo, which helps the location feel grounded rather than obscure. Then the features come in and make the listing feel even bigger than the square footage suggests. The property includes a dedicated workshop room, a fully finished basement with its own kitchen, a full bathroom with a jacuzzi tub, a living room, a bar area, and a bedroom on the lower level. Above ground, there is an attached garage, a breezeway, an attached greenhouse, a covered front porch, and a screened back porch. That is a lot of usable space packed into one property. At this point, the conversation stops being about a cheap ranch. It becomes about a house that genuinely plays bigger than its basic category. It has hobby space, it has entertaining space, it has indoor and outdoor flexibility, it has the kind of lower-level setup that buyers immediately start imagining creative uses for. Jamestown gives the house a real city backdrop, but the house itself gives viewers a feature list that feels almost out of step with the asking price. That gap between price and features is exactly where curiosity lives, and that is what makes this entry so strong. Wait until you see the next 3, because the prices drop even further. Number 3. 297 Universal Avenue, Elmyra, New York, at $179,900. Elmyra might be one of the most underrated cities on this entire list for finding real ranch value. 297 Universal Avenue offers 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1,210 square feet, a 7,069 square foot lot, 1970 construction, and a list price of $179,900. That is about $140 per square foot. Elmyra has a population of around 26,523 based on the 2020 census. So while it is far smaller than Rochester, it is still a genuine city with real neighborhoods, real services, and real structure behind its housing market. What lifts this listing above the basic numbers is a detail that changes how the whole property feels. The description mentions a new roof installed in 2022, a new hot water heater from 2019, central air conditioning, a partially finished basement, a large storage shed, off-street parking, and then the real standout, an included adjoining lot that expands the yard significantly. That adjoining lot is the kind of bonus that transforms a cheap property. Suddenly, it is not just a small ranch on a normal lot. It is a ranch with real breathing room. A ranch with flexibility. A ranch where someone can think about gardening, outdoor storage, future building projects, or simply having more green space than the neighbors. The listing also says the property sits just minutes from Universal Park and downtown Elmyra. So you get the price, the updates, the bonus land, and you are still close to the functioning center of a real city. It feels affordable without feeling cut off from the world, and that balance is extremely hard to find. Number 2. 217 Kendall Place, Elmira, New York, at $168,000. If some of the other properties on this list are about surprise features and wow moments, 217 Kendall Place is about something quieter and just as valuable. Simple usefulness. The listing shows 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1,172 square feet, a 6,503 square foot lot, 1952 construction, and a list price of $168,000. That breaks down to about $137 per square foot, keeping it comfortably in the affordable ranch bracket, while offering a completely normal, understandable layout that anyone can picture themselves living in. The listing gives this ranch a friendly, approachable tone. It highlights a cozy gas fireplace, a large living room, a generously sized dining room, replacement windows throughout, and a roof replaced in 2019 with 50-year architectural shingles. It also points out easy access to stores, restaurants, and public transportation. That combination is powerful because it solves the real problem most bargain buyers actually face. They do not just need a low price tag, they need a low price tag in a place where daily life still works without a car trip for every single errand. This home sounds like exactly that kind of place. It does not pretend to be flashy. It does not need acreage or a greenhouse or a sunroom to make its case. Its strength is balance. Enough interior space. Enough updates to feel confident. Enough comfort to feel settled. And enough access to the city around it to keep life running smoothly. In a long property video, that kind of grounded, believable listing can be just as compelling as the dramatic entries, because viewers look at it and think, yes, someone could genuinely move into that house and live a good life without getting crushed by the monthly payment. Number 1. 50 Brookline Avenue, Elmira, New York, at $132,000. And then we arrive at the cheapest real ranch on the entire list, and this one might be the most interesting of all. 50 Brookline Avenue in Elmira shows 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 696 square feet, an 8,999 square foot lot, 1950 construction, and a list price of $132,000. Yes, the interior is small. There is no getting around that. But the price is what makes this property such a strong closer for this ranking. In New York State, even in a smaller city, seeing a true ranch-style single-family home listed at this number instantly creates curiosity, and the lot plus all the outbuildings are what keep it from feeling like just a tiny box on a street corner. The listing says the property sits on a massive double lot that comes in just under half an acre. It also includes an attached 1-car garage, a detached 2-car garage behind the house, and an additional storage building behind that. 3 separate structures for vehicles, tools, equipment, projects, or whatever a buyer needs. Then the interior updates come in and add another layer. The listing mentions new flooring, an updated kitchen, a modernized bathroom, newer electrical service, a new hot water tank, and fresh attic insulation. Outside, there is a fully fenced yard, a covered front porch, and a rear patio. That is what completely flips the narrative on this property. At first glance, it looks like the smallest home in the entire ranking. In reality, it might be one of the most flexible. Storage capacity, parking for multiple vehicles, yard space on a double lot, multiple outbuildings, and a real city anchor in Elmyra give it far more practical value than the interior square footage alone would ever suggest. That is exactly why it earns the #1 spot. It is the cheapest property on the list, but it does not feel disposable. It feels like the kind of overlooked deal that makes smart buyers wonder how many other listings they scroll past too quickly every single day. Every single one of these ranches is listed right now, and the links are sitting in the description below. Subscribe so you do not miss the next time we find deals like these, and like the video for more.